about in the book in order to avoid problems is also understanding how the criminal mind works and how they pick targets, because that can help you avoid being a target. So what is like generally, what is someone who wants to do bad things to you? What are they looking for in a target? And then what can you do to be less of a target?
Okay. So generally speaking, a criminal needs something of value, right? And most people think about this in terms of money, a wallet, a purse. Some people think of it in terms of an asset, something that they have that can fetch value through fencing it. Some people think of like a carjacking in terms of the actual car. Those are pretty common ones. So they need something of value. So if you have something of value, you're a potential target. If you look like a weaker person, you're a potential target. If you have a relationship to an entity, let's say information based, something, like you work on the stock market, you have some type of insider trading information, and they want that. You yourself as a person are of value to them. Or in a foreign country, a lot of times you as a human are of value, assuming someone's willing to pay for you to get you back. And so those are the typical things of value, like things that have cash value immediately, like things that can be taken to a pawn shop, things that produce information that's of value that will later result in money, or the person themselves when you look at kidnapping. So those are the three common things. And then from that, normally doing things like advanced work essentially shows you where exposure points are, where choke points are, shows you kind of how the culture moves or flows. So the biggest part for us is not having something like, your Rolex watch on, not having a bunch of jewelry on, not taking the cash out of your pocket or wallet when you're paying for something and you've got a handful of cash that everybody around can see. Things like moving in groups. So if you're moving 3 or 4 or 5, you're a less desirable target because the chance of them being successful is pretty low. And even when you're overseas and you're by yourself, there are things that you can do to look bigger than you are. So if I start to kind of walk into a group of 2 or 3 or 4 people that are moving down the street, I blend into that. I'm not right in the group, but I'm a couple feet back and I look like I'm with them. And if I'm wearing local clothing, I look even more like I'm with them. And if I'm laughing when they're laughing, I look like I'm with them. So a lot of little things that you can do, your posture, your demeanor, your eye contact, all of these things will make you a less likely target. And in general, it's back to mindset, right? Do you look like somebody easy to take money from, to take a life from, to take whatever it is? And if you have the right posture, the right demeanor, and you blend and they don't even see you, chances of that happening are pretty slim.
Yeah, you said in the book, in protection, you call this target hardening, right? Make yourself a hard target.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. So, you figure out what the target is and then you reverse it and you figure out how to make it hard to get access to that target. And we talk about that through a bunch of different systems that we use, threat and vulnerability assessments in particular.
Well, let's talk about that. Like, let's go through that sort of methodology that you use to do that threat assessment.